Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a pen review of a new pen by Twsbi. This is the Twsbi Precision. Now the Twsbi Precision is a fabulous metal pen made by the brand Twsbi, and it is named the Precision after this pencil, the mechanical pencil from Twsbi, the Precision. And you can see that it has a lot in common with this pen. Now, I got this pen from a retailer in the United States just after it was released, and I have to say it is a really, really lovely pen to write with. I think personally it owes a lot to the Twsbi Classic. Now, this is one of the sort of older Twsbi pens, and if we look at the two pens in sort of some detail, you can see just how similar they actually are, from the piston knobs here through to, if I open them up and show you the fact they're both screw, but also the grip sections are both really sort of very similar. And that's different to other Twsbi pens, both the Eco and the VAC 700 and also the 580 have a different sort of section to this. So obviously this pen takes a lot from from the Classic. They're also both faceted pens, and as I said, both piston fillers and also not demonstrators, which is a nice thing to see occasionally from a brand like Twsbi. So let's cover the parts of the pen, see what it's about, and then later I'll do a quick writing sample for you. We can see how the pen performs. So as I said, this is a screw cap pen, and they're nice threads. They're metal threads, and it's a metal cap, and it's an all metal body. And this is of course the gunmetal finish. It's got this sort of pretty much cylindrical grip with a little sort of steel ring at the end, and this really nice ink window. I'm not sure how easy that is to see, but the ink window is actually really, I think, a nice feature of this pen. It comes with a steel nib made by Jowo, and it's a good nib. I like the Jowo nibs. I've enjoyed them on Twsbi's before, and this is really no exception. The clip is the same as the clip on the pencil, which is a fine clip. I actually prefer the feeling of this clip to some of the other Twsbi clips, which I think can sort of tend to feel a little bit flimsy. This one's got a sort of a nice sturdy feel to it. It's a piston-filled pen with the piston knob here and some O-rings on the end there, which allow the pen to post quite securely, although it does make quite a long pen and the balance does end up shifting a little bit towards the back. However, when it's unposted, the balance is nice. It's a nice light pen, and the weight also sort of does lead down towards the nib. One of the things I love about this pen is the branding. It's really minimal. It's really just the little red cap on the finial, and as you might be able to see here, Twsbi Precision on the end here, and Taiwan, where the pen is made. And that's really nice to see, not a huge sort of logo somewhere on the pen. If we once again take a look at the pencil, it's got Twsbi Precision sort of right there on the barrel, and I'm glad they decided to not do that with the pen. So let's talk about the stats. It's not a small pen. If we look at it actually here in comparison to, say, the Lamy Safari, you can see it's a pretty good size pen. The Lamy Safari isn't a small pen, and the Twsbi Precision here really does keep up. In terms of the measurements, capped it's 137 millimeters, which is a nice sort of solid length in the hand. Posted, it is a little bit long at 170, I find. It's comfortable to post because the cap doesn't sit on your hand, but it is quite long. And uncapped, it's 129, which is actually nice length to hold in the hand and sort of good to write with. It's a well-balanced pen, as I said, and the size of the nib is in proportion to the pen, so it allows for a good sort of standard sort of writing angle and position in the hand. The section is narrow, I will say that. It's a little narrower than I like. I do like in the 10 to 11 millimeter range, and this is a little less than that at sort of 9.5 to 9.7 millimeters, which is as I said, for me, just perhaps a little bit too thin. One great thing about this pen is the ink capacity. Being a piston filler, you get a lot of ink. This holds between 1.5 and 2 millimeters of ink, from what I've been able to sort of guess from my own measurements. So that's a really handy amount of ink, and certainly more than enough for a good amount of writing. So let's do a writing sample. I have this in a medium nib, and I currently have this inked with Noodler's Lexington Grey, which is a fabulous ink. And although it shows that the pen is not grey, there's a bit more brown in the pen than grey. It is gunmetal, so it's got that sort of browny sort of colour in it. It's a nice sort of complement to the pen colour. Let's do some writing. So this is a medium steel nib, as I said, made by Yovo, and it's a great nib. It feels beautiful on the paper. There's slight feedback, but really not enough to be of any concern. It lays down a nice solid medium width line, and you know, it's not some of these nibs tend to be a little bit sort of rigid. This one, it's certainly not the worst I've ever used. I wouldn't say it's springy, but it's got just enough bounce to not feel like a nail. Now, in terms of wetness, I'm really impressed. This is, quite a generous pen. To be fair, Lexington Grey is not a dry ink, but you can just see from even just the shading that the pen lays down, that this lays down a really nice amount of ink. So I'm really impressed with this nib. I find it to be, smooth and wet and consistent and reliable. Writes first time every time. It's one of the things I've loved about Twsbi pens, is that they do write very, very consistently. So what do I love about this pen, and what do I not love so much about this pen? I'm actually going to start with what I don't love so much. And this is pedantic. But when the cap is secure, the facets don't line up on this particular pen. Now, this could very easily be just this one particular model, but it is super annoying. And to line them up, I have to have the pen slightly loose, which I'm not comfortable with. So when I sort of tighten it down to a little bit of torque that you have to put on some screw caps, they just don't quite line up. So that's really unfortunate. It is a little, as I said, sort of top heavy when it's posted. So if you want to post this pen, keep that in mind. It's not bad, but just a little top heavy. One thing I don't like is the O-rings on the piston turning knob there. Now, I know they serve a function to post the pen, and they do make it post securely, but it's just not quite, it's not aesthetically pleasing. I think it looks a little bit sort of cheap. I'm surprised that Twsbi, with some of their fabulous other pens, they just don't seem to get posting right, and I'm not sure why. Things like the Mini, Vac Mini, you screw to post that, and that's fine, but all these pens with little O-rings for posting, they wear out, it's just a bit of a shame. Another thing that bugs me a little bit is another sort of slightly pedantic issue is that the nib doesn't line up directly down one of the facets. So when you post it, to get the cap and the pen to line up, you have to have it off angle, which isn't going to be a problem for a lot of people, but I would love it if it would line up that way, so that the facets run straight, not have to be sort of off kilter like that, to allow the nib and the clip to line up. Once again, a pedantic minor issue, but just something that bugs me. Now one of the things I love about Twsbi pens is the packaging. I was going to show this earlier, but I wanted to keep it for this. I'll just bring it down here. Hopefully we can sort of get it all in. This simple cardboard box is iconic to Twsbi. The logo on the top really makes it stand out. You know, when you open it up and you get your little piece of foam on the top, and then the plastic case here, which with some bits of foam and some instructions and all of that sort of stuff, all there in the box. Now, obviously this is out of the box, and I've had it out and everything. But you have these two little clips that hold the pen in place, which are fabulous, do the job absolutely perfectly. And then, of course, in the bottom, as well as some sort of more instruction-y information, you get the silicone grease and the Twsbi wrench. This Twsbi wrench, I've got a few of these from other Twsbi pens that I've had as well. And there goes the silicone as well. They're really handy because not only do they work with Twsbi pens, they also work with Pelican pens, or Pelican. So it's a nice tool to have as a fountain pen user. The silicone grease I use on a lot of other pens as well, Chinese pens and things like that. Really handy. It's a small bottle, it's a firm bottle, but give you a press on the bottom when you're using it, and it's not really an issue at all. So what else do I love about this pen? Well, here's a couple of other things. As I said, the nib. Great nib. Really nice, wet, smooth nib. You can't go wrong with Jowo. Goulet nibs are Jowo. A bunch of other brands use Jowo nibs. They are reliable, and that's great. I love this material of the pen, this metal, this sort of brushed metal. I think it's got a great look, it's a great colour, and I think it's actually really an aesthetically pleasing pen. I'm not a huge fan of the end cap here. I think it looks a bit odd, but I think it actually fits, it balances the pen with the piston turning knob there. And that's really about it. I love this pen. I think it writes beautifully, it feels great in the hand, it looks good, it fits so many of my criteria. The fact that it's not an expensive pen, we're talking US dollars, $80 to $85 at online retailers. In Australia, it's $135. And yes, there are a lot of pens you can get in that price range. If you're happy to buy online from Australia, but online from parts of Asia, you can get some gold nib pens in this price range. But I love the construction of this pen, I love the brand, and I think Twsbi do a wonderful job with sort of within this price range. It is the most expensive Twsbi pen on the market, I believe. And I think it's one of the best. I do love demonstrated pens, but there's a stability or a strength to this pen which I really, really appreciate. So that was the Twsbi Precision. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. I've reviewed quite a few and featured quite a few Twsbi pens in my videos, so feel free to check them out. And if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below or on any of the platforms that I've listed below. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you later.